first coat is a 1-to-1 mix of Chaos Black and Red Gore. The highlight of Red Gore is then applied to the model by spraying above the model, then going in to hit little details. Now we will base coat all the black areas and any areas that are to be painted silver later. Now we're going to freehand a blood drop using Chaos Black, much like we did in the Flesh Terrors video, where you do a line down the center and then make each half of the drop on each side of the line. Now we fill the blood drop with Red Gore, making sure to leave a black outline. Using blood red, we're going to try to paint this kind of like a jewel, so we're going to concentrate our highlights on the bottom and towards the back part of the jewel. Blazing Orange, we're going to keep really toward the bottom, trying not to cover up any of that blood red, but to kind of make the bottom of that jewel pop. Use Skull White to make the little glints of light, because even though we're painting it like a jewel, it's not supposed to be like an actual jewel on the model, just to paint it on insignia, kind of like you would do on a banner if you were trying to simulate a 2D jewel. To highlight the black areas, I use a 1-to-1 mix of Codex Gray and Lightning Bolt Blue, which GW does not carry anymore. That's another reason to carry Vallejo Game Color or get the Coated Arms version. I'll include a link in the description where you can go to the DACA forums and go to the paint conversion chart to try to find it if you want to try it out. And the reason I did this is because of looking at old school pictures, and the actual example picture for this paint scheme is they highlighted black with blue, which you don't see too often. People use Codex Gray, and I understand the blue, which, you know, people are trying to implement other colors instead of keeping it neutral, grays, blacks, and whites. So this was me joining the two, and I really like the effect. And just like we do on every single one of these red guys, we do the eyes Goblin Green first, or some kind of green. It's a complementary color of red, if you guys are wondering. And the second highlight that you put on that front part of the green will be Bilious Green, or Bilious Green, however you want to say it. And I believe GW still carries it, but I hear from other people that they discontinued it, so take a look. And just a dot of skull white in the back corners and your lenses are complete. All the silver areas are now hit with Boltgun Metal. Highlights are then applied to the Boltgun Metal using Mithril Silver. Base coat the Purity Seal wax with Goblin Green. The seal's paper is then started with GW Foundation Khemri Brown. Bleached Bone is applied to the paper, leaving the foundation paint just in the recesses. The two gold areas, which are the skull on the gun and the backpack, are base coated with dark flesh. Shining gold is then applied just to the upper areas, leaving the dark flesh in the recesses. I forgot about the Purity Seal wax, so we come back to it and highlight it with Bilious Green. And while we're in the area, we'll go ahead and add a edge highlight to the Purity Seal paper using Skull White. Airbrushes are nice, but they're not perfect, so I go back in and touch up some areas with red Gore using a brush. I haven't done this since the Dark Angels tutorial, so I figured, alright, we'll go ahead and highlight the leg tubes. And since the Codex Gray and Lightning Blue mix that we used to highlight the black was still wet, I decided to go ahead and use that color. Airbrushing pushes paint everywhere, and with that you can lose detail by pushing in highlight colors into the little cracks in between the armor pieces. So I go ahead and apply Awesome Paint Job Drying Blood Wash, which is a darker red than what we used, just to fall into those recesses and kind of bring out some depth again. This section is optional for people who want to know how I painted the base. If you just wanted to know how to paint the marine, he is done. VMC Saddle Brown was used here because even though we like to think of brick as red, our model's red, we don't want to pull any attention away from that, so I used a reddish brown. Awesome Paint Job Baby Poop Wash. Yes, baby poop wash is applied to this, and it's a yellowish green disgusting kind of brown that's great for shading on bases to darken everything up immediately. Once the wash is dried, the last thing to do is to use VMC Cork Brown and dry brush the edges, pulling from between the marine's legs and pull outwards toward the edge of the base, get some of that brick highlighted, and you come out with a nice effect.